Hey y'all, Debbie here, and today we are going to be making a burlap ruffle wreath or pull through method wreath here at How to Make Wreaths. Here are the items that you're going to need. You're going to need 2 rolls, and you may not use a full two rolls, but you'll need 2 rolls of the 30-foot 5.5 inch burlap. You will need the 30-foot, so if it comes from somewhere where it's only 15 feet, you may need more. You're going to need a 14.5 inch frame. These come from Dollar Tree. You're going to need some zip ties, a couple of pipe cleaners. I have, I think, 5 strips here of ribbon that I cut about 27 to 30 inches, give or take. I've got some mesh tubing. I don't know if I'm going to use a lot of it, but I have it. And then, of course, you know, your scissors. You don't really need hot glue for this project, but you will need some scissors. Okay, so let's get started. All right. As you can tell, this frame right here has, you've got 1 row here, 2, and 3. So you've got a total of 3 rows. You're going to be using this bar, which is 1, 2, the second bar right here. Let me get it up so you. So the second bar here, and then you're going to be using this 3rd bar next to it. These are going to be considered your guide bars, okay? And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. So the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and unravel your burlap. Let's stick our burlap on the bottom side. As you can tell here, let me get close so you can tell. As you can tell, right here there is a crossbar. This is where I'm going to zip tie. You can go ahead and get your zip tie started. I'm going to zip tie my burlap in right there. Go ahead and tie it off. And this keeps it firm and in its place. Alright, now look, this is going to be our outside row. It's going to use the most burlap in the project because once you get on the inside, it won't use as much. So what you're going to do is you're going to need these 2 edges here, and you're going to need them to go right here in this first guide, this first bar. Okay, so we're going to come in through this side, then we're going to come in through this side, our edges, and we're going to use that as right here as our bar. Bring this up and then push. So we are going to sandwich it, that bar in between. Then we are just going to push as we go. You know what may be easy is to put this burlap, if you have your Provo, let's put that on there. You can always let it fall to the ground if you want. But it does fit into the Provo. Somewhat. Okay, so we're going to just try to see if we can keep it in there so it won't fall all over the place because I've got my dog in here with me. Alright, so we're just going to keep pushing and moving along, okay? This bottom row goes fairly quickly, but it gets harder when we go to that top row. And just make it until you feel like that that's full, you know, that looks good. You don't want to over squish your burlap in here. Don't overdo it because you want it to move some. And you don't want it to be hard when you put that other row. So I'm just going to keep it right here. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to cross over this bar and I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. Okay, that looks good to me. So let's jump on over to the next. Just keep doing the same thing. Looks good. Everything's looking kind of even. And this is just kind of one of those moments you just go with your gut, y'all. You just decide, okay, yeah, that looks good. And the more you make them, the better you'll be able to judge at how much mesh, or you can use mesh for this. And if you did use mesh, just use the 5.5 inch and it'll work fine. But burlap. There we go. So let's jump over here. And I have seen some people where they prefer not to even use the zip tie, and that is fine. But for me, I like to know that my mesh isn't going anywhere. I mean, not my mesh, my burlap. Y'all, excuse me. Okay, I hope this is enough mesh. Let's see, for this last row. Let's try it out. Not mesh, burlap. Y'all, I keep saying mesh. I'm gonna have everybody messed up on this one. Alright, so now that we're at this edge here, we're right back where we started from, right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come in here on the same bar. We're going to add another zip tie. And then we'll push it through this bottom here. Just because that's where I like to do it. Then let's go and add our end. This is not it. Where is it? Okay. We're going to add our very end here into that pipe cleaner. Not pipe cleaner. Can't even talk right. Zip tie. Tie it off. It's in there. It's secure. Alright. So now we're going to do this inside. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to take this. If you have your Pro Bow, I don't know what your ribbon holder, is that what it's called? I don't know. You can just stick one of your fingers in through that. It'll go in there. And put that into your thing, your Pro Bow, and it works great, y'all. Okay, I don't like it going that way. This is like toilet paper, right? You got to decide which way is the best way for you. Maybe, I don't know. You don't have to start on the same row. Actually, I'm not, because I don't want to have a bunch of, meaning your same bar that we started on this end. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start right here, because I don't want to have all them zip ties in the same spot. I'm going to kind of come in through the middle here, get my zip tie started, and take this down. Go ahead, and I'm feeding this burlap in through the bottom. Put that off. Okay, this is where it gets a little complicated, and I want to make sure that you're absolutely getting the best picture, guys. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to do basically the same thing that we did, but we have to use this bar right here as our guide. So we're going to come in through this bottom, okay, this little bottom row right here. But then we're going to have to use the same row that's already got this burlap in there. So sometimes it can get tough, and that's why I like to just wait and do the bottom row, because it doesn't take as much and it's smaller going around. So it won't be as confusing. Once you get it in there, just push and just keep working with it, okay? So this is feeling pretty tight right in here. I'm going to kind of just mess with it and decide if I feel like it needs to be any tighter. I don't think it does. So I'm going to do like I did before. I'm just going to jump over that bar and keep right on trucking. Again, you know, you don't have to make it as tight. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's jump over. This is, it's getting tight. And that's to be expected. It's gonna be harder to work with on that second row. Just know that. And the thing with this wreath, y'all, is you can take and redo your bow if you wanted. If you just wanted to add a bow and not do any of the little mesh tubing in there, you can do that. And you can just change the bow with the season. You can keep the same wreath on your door until the birds take it over for each season. Because birds love burlap, guys. I'm just telling you, in the spring, they love it. Okay. Okay. See, though, you don't need a lot. You don't have to worry about making it tight. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to fill the gaps in. You want it to have that flow. We are near the end, and I've maybe used half a roll here, but you see how pretty and full that is? So now I'm going to go ahead and cut. Make sure y'all can see this. I'm just going to cut me a little bit of the burlap. Be careful, because you don't want that burlap to get in your nose and all that good stuff. Alright, so we're just going to tie this piece off. It's okay if it sticks up right there. It'll just look like it's part of it. Tie it off. Clip it on. I'm going to get a piece of wire to add my hook. While I've got this flipped, let's see, it really don't matter where, but I am going to use like where this bar is, just because it won't go far. And I can take, oops, so I'm wrapping this in, and then I'm going to take this little piece of wire where that bar is and just kind of wrap it around there. Because trust me, the last thing y'all want is your customer to hang this up all wrong. Okay, and then we're going to come in through here. Just give them a loop here. Just something that they can hang there onto their door hanger. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bring it back around this bar just to tighten it off. Maybe. I don't want to pull it too tight because I want this to kind of stay apart. There we go. Oops, wrong one. I thought those were my clippers, y'all. Alright, so now you got something to hang on. So you know that's your top. You know this is where your top is. Okay. So now that I know where that is, let's get this out of our way. Now let's go ahead and let's get our bow made. So I have three 2.5 inch ribbons and two 1.5. So I've got to figure out how I want to do this. I know that I'm going to want the black in the middle of those two. Maybe kind of like that. Okay. So the first thing that we'll do, I can already see I've got a pinch. Just kind of decide where you want to pinch. I'm going to measure over here about 12 inches. So I've measured about 12 inches. And I've made my second pinch. And look at all this ribbon I have left over down here. So I can use this for a tail or something. I don't know. That's a lot of ribbon. So we're going to use... Okay, so there's 12 inches. And that way there I can use that ribbon somewhere else. So now I can use this loop as my guide, okay? So there's that. Okay, and now I think I'm going to do, we'll do the solid red. Kind of do the same thing. I'm going to come behind and I'm just going to gather. I want my loop to be about the same size as this one. And then I can gather it here. Okay, now I'm going to come in here with this black. Gather, make this loop about the same size. Gather. Now, if it gets to be too much to hold, I say grab it by its neck. I call that its neck. I'm going to come in here with this red. I love this red. Red little polka dots. Because I don't want so much black on top of each other. So, see? And I'll take this one behind it. There we go. Now, we've got this. We're going to hold it by its neck, okay? We're going to take our pipe cleaner. We're going to come around the neck. Hold it tight. Bring it around the neck. Pull. And then we can start to twist the pipe cleaner. But once we do that, we're going to go ahead and twist this bow. That's going to make that pipe cleaner nice and tight, okay? Now we're going to take our pipe cleaner, we're going to take it apart like this, okay? Now let's start bringing up like one tail here, one down here, one up here, one down here. This one can go up here. You can kind of tell because the print, you'll have one print on one side and it won't be the same on the other. So you'll know that that one needs to come up. This one don't matter. Okay. Now we've got that. Got everything where it needs to be. Yes, yes. Now I'm going to take this pipe cleaner. I'm going to twist it because I've got my bow in its place. Turn it over. Now I can start straightening my bow, making it pretty. Okay. Now I've got all my tails, and what I'm going to do now, because these are entirely too long, I'm going to go ahead and place this bow where I want it. So I know this is my top. I have my hanger here, so I know that's my top. I'm the type of girl that likes my bows to the side. So we're going to add our bow over here. And y'all, all you've got to do is just poke it. See, there is a bar right here. I'm going to just kind of poke it around. I'd say it's that second bar, my burlap, and just poke it in there around that bar. It's got a bar to hold it. Okay. You don't want to squish your bow, so don't just over tighten it in there, but then tighten, but you do want it tight. But don't squish it. Alright, so now you can come in here and straighten this. Now we need to cut these tails because they are entirely too long. I'm just going to dovetail as I go. Okay. And they don't have to be the same size. You can make them any size you want, really. Okay, so now we've got our tails kind of the way that we want them. I'm going to take this red, and I need to break up some of this black over here. Let's break that up a little. There we go, that's better. Okay, so there's our bow. And now we decide, okay, do we like it just like this, or do we want to continue to add? For me, I'm going to continue to add a few things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab me some more pipe cleaners. I'm going to just use 4 for now. And we're going to cut them in half. Okay. I have my red and I have my black mesh tubing. And what I like to do is just kind of put this over to the side, find my ends of the tubing. That's always fun. There it is. Put that over to the side. I'm just going to simply make a bow tie. And I just kind of estimate how big I want them. And then they don't need to be that big. So let's go ahead and let's measure how big we want these loops, okay? I like that. I think that's good. Let's see. That's a good size. So let me tell you what the size these loops are. I'm sorry, but my camera is just not. I would say they're about 3-inch loops. So yeah, they're about 3 inches. And then what we'll do grab our scissors, maybe, cut off right in here. This is too long, so I'm just going to trim that right there. We don't need it though. Okay, so we've got a little loop here. Now let's find our pipe cleaner. Let's take and let's tie this in there. Pull to the bottom. Give it a little twist. And let's find where this is an end right here. This is a little end, so I'm going to come in right at the bottom of it. You're going to have to pull your mesh, your burlap around it. I'm going to tie that in there like that at the bottom. And then I'll make another one. About the same size, about the little 3-inch, maybe 4-inch if you want to go 4, that's good too. So, cut that. Grab our pipe cleaner. Twist. And we'll come at that bar. We're going to come right in here. We're going to add another one. Like that. Just bring that back around. Alright, let's make another one. Once you do this more and more, you will be able to kind of eye everything. I'm going to kind of come into the center here, in between these two, maybe. That's the second one. I need it to be right about here. Yep, right there. It's not working too well, guys. Where is the bar? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I guess I'll put it right here. Just kind of in the middle of those two. And when you're poking it through this burlap, it's going to kind of hold it in its place. It's not going to move. Okay. There, because we're not trying to lose the burlap. We just adding a little glitter. Okay, that's all we're trying to do here. Alright, let's go. Let's look for that next bar. There it is. So we'll come in through this bottom part. Sorry guys, my dog's now knocking at the door to get out. Alright. Come through this, on that bar right there. Just put that in through there. Give it a good twist at the bottom. There we go. Again, we're going to kind of find our middle section right there. our little middle right in here. And if you think it needs more, add more. I mean, this is just the way that I kind of do it. I'm trying to keep this wreath at a decent cost. And it's a great, great beginner wreath. One thing I've learned living in the South, people love the burlap. And they may like it in the North too, but I know in the South they love it. Okay, let's look for that bar. There it is, right there. We're going to go around the zip tie on this. So it's already kind of gapped pretty well. And I just squish everything to get it back. You could always add ribbon if you wanted through here, but I like to keep, like I said, I like to keep that burlap look, so I don't do that. I don't want to cover it. Oh, that's not going to work. I've got to cross. So you've got to cross over right here, y'all. Okay. There we go. Otherwise, it will slide. You don't want it to slide. Okay. So there's that. We're going to kind of come in the middle right here. If you wanted from here, you could add ornaments, you know, whatever you wanted. So this is, we did 4, this is number 5. You're going to need probably 6 pipe cleaners cut in half, possibly 7. All right, we're going to kind of bring this in the center that we did before. Okay, right there. Twist. Drop my red. Are you trying to get my red tubing? You better not. Oops. All right, let's find that bar again. Okay. Right in here. Okay. Tie that off, maybe. What's up, Pipsqueak? So I've done 7 of the pipe cleaner, cut in half. Bring that right through here, cross it over. Okay. Go in the center here. Okay. And that's that bar. Here it is. I've got to where I almost know where they are. All we do is just keep making our loops. Okay, let's see. Do it right here. It's being kind of difficult here. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut one more pipe cleaner and I'm going to stick it in the center here, and then it'll be where it'll be done. So that's 8 pipe cleaners that I used, cut in half to go around. I wasn't sure, so that wasn't in my supplies because I just didn't know. I just said pipe cleaners. So there we go. I'm not going to worry about adding any more in there. So now I can just come in here, straighten my bow, make sure everything's where it needs to be. Of course, I squished it. And there, my friends, is the little burlap wreath. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut, because I still think these tails up here are just too long. I don't like that. So I'm going to trim that. Okay. Bring that in through there. So there we go. There is our wreath. Let's see, there's our hanger. So we've got our bow kind of coming to the side. We've got everything in here. If you wanted to do a different color, you could, but I love black and red, so that's why I went with that. I can bring this bow down a little bit more. Looks like it could use it. So what I'll do is I'll bring it down and tighten my bow. My pipe cleaner in the back. There we go. Okay. That'll hold it down better. It'll hold everything where it needs to go. Okay. There we go. So there it is. Okay guys, now what you want to do is you want to make sure the back that you go ahead and wrap these around some of these bars. If you want to clip them, that is fine. Like, you don't need all that. But do wrap it around the bar if you can. That just gives you a little added security there. And another thing, you can get like from Dollar Tree or somewhere like that, you can get the placemat and you can zip tie it to the back. Just poke a hole, zip tie it to the back, and you can cover up all your mechanics, and then that way there nobody can see, you know, your customers can't see how you've done it. They can't see, you know, if you don't want them to see that. So that's just a good way to clean up the back and make that back look good. Okay. So that is it. I'll finish this back up in a little bit. But I definitely want to make sure everything is secure in its place. And smush my bow. But when you get done, just make sure you got that bow pop back out. Easy breezy. There we go. Alright guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you are able to make this holiday season, or for any time. Remember that you can always take and change that bow out. You don't have to add the tubing. You can change that bow out and have a different bow for any season. This is also a great way to use up ribbon that you maybe only have a little bit left. You can use it up, make the funky bow, and then you're not wasting ribbon. Alright, see y'all later. Bye y'all.